How are you guys? I hope you guys are doing fine. All right. What I'm about to, I don't know. I did find. Okay, I was going through. I was going through um, my phone, and I saw that. Wike granted an interview, as usual, and made some shocking statement or an admission. I'll call it an admission from statement he made. The one that caught my attention that I need to respond is where he says 2027. No, he said if the federal government is interested or have applied federal might in Osun, they will have win Osun regardless of whatever that is going to happen. That is one. That is one admission. And then secondly, again, in another, I think it's the same interview, he was granting that that 2027 is going to be the most easiest election win for Tinubu. The reason being is that the opposition has been crippled. You know, when this man comes to grant an interview on televisions, I don't know whether if he's on high. You know what I mean? So when somebody's on high, maybe he has taken some spirits or a high alcohol content that he tends to lose his rationales. He tends to speak from, open his wide mouth and then says anything he wants to say. So those two statements is an admission. It's an admission that they are interfering with the elections, they are interfering with the INEC results, falsifying results. Okay? And also the statement about crippling the oppositions. That's an admission. That all those opposition parties, whatever they are going through since 2023 after the elections, from one court to another, was an intentional deed from the federal might to cripple the opposition so that they be crippled, not to be able to stand and field in a credible candidate to challenge them. So those are the two comments. That other things he was rambling up and down. Those are not my core interest. But those two statements, that have they applied the federal might, or had he has been sent to Osun, that they will have won that election, regardless of whatever is going to happen. So for you to see the way these guys think. But I have a message for Wike. Wike, you can exhibit every power you want to exhibit now. You are smiling. You are grabbing all the money, taking people's land, giving it, sharing to your friends. You're on top. Do you know why I say you're on top? One thing I'm totally happy is that Tinubu is not going to be in that seat forever. But my little advice for you is that if for any eventuality Tinubu loses that seat and it's another president, please, immediately the result was announced, grab the next available flight and leave Nigeria for good. Immediately the result has been announced that Tinubu has lost the election, just grab the next available election and leave the country and never turn back to the country again, because I pity you. You've created a lot of enemies. You've disrespected a lot of people. Even those that are there before you, you have no respect for those that have been playing politics before, even those that brought you to a limelight. So enjoy the ride. Okay, enjoy it. But my little advice that if for any eventuality Tinubu lose that seat, I will advise you to please get the next available flight and disappear for good. Never step your foot. You see, the Ziani, at least in America, will be better than you. Because if you stay here, you all this power you are showing that because Tinubu is allowed to do all those things. Who's going to be there? If another person is going to be there, you can't be showing, you can't be showing, all this bragado, you don't have no say. You don't have no say. You be like a little crunch on the street. for all the sins we've committed in these administrations, for all those that have insulted, for all those that have caused pains, stealing their property, share it. You'll be garnishing your teeth and pleading for mercy. Mercy will be too far for you. And for those that are buying those land from Wike, just know you're just wasting your money, because if any government steps in there, those land will be recovered and returned back to the owners. So whatever money you are buying, whatever money, if you like, have the C of O. Your C of O means nothing, because there are people that owns that land with genuine documents. C of O. Wike took them and give it to their friends. So your money is wasted, because you are just wasting your money. Any new government that comes in there, and I'm going to make a video on that. I'm going to make a video on that and talk to Peter Obi and really let it be one of his agenda to recover those lands, regardless of who he allotted those lands, and return them back to the original owners. And whatever property that is in land belongs to the original owners. So I'm not going to waste much time on this. I want to respond to him on that particular comment. So let's do it. I'm going to respond to that particular comment. I hope you guys are going to follow me to that and listen to my repudiation to that interview. So let's go. Hello, friends. Wike's latest statement, it is an alarming admission. Wike's latest statement should concern every Nigerian who believes in democracy. An FC minister has gone on a television to tell Nigerians that the APC could have won Osun State if the federal government had deployed its full federal might, and that he would have personally participated to make sure it happened. Think about the implications of the statement. A minister. Wike is not merely saying the APC could have won through superior campaigning, but better policies or greater popularity. He is essentially suggesting that the outcome could have been different if the machinery and the influence of the federal government had been fully deployed against a state-level opposition candidate. That is precisely the attitude Nigerians should reject in totality. Elections are not supposed to be won because one party possesses the machinery of the federal government. Elections are supposed to be won because citizens freely choose who they want to govern them. And Wike's statement exposes something even more troubling. If, as he claims, federal might could have changed the outcome in Osun, then his statement raises a fundamental question. What exactly does he believe the federal government machinery should be used for during an election? Security agencies, regulatory institutions, political influence, federal resources, or administrative power? These institutions belong to the Nigerian people, not to the APC, PDP, Tinubu, Wike, or any individual politician. The irony is breathtaking. The irony is breathtaking, to say the least. The same Wike who once presented himself as a fierce defender of political independence and opposition politics is now telling Nigerians that the ruling party could have crushed an opposition victory if it had deployed sufficient federal power. Think about it. And the outcome, would have been different. And then comes the second extraordinary claim that the 2027 presidential election will be the easiest election for President Tinubu because the opposition has been crippled and homeless. But elections are not won by political predictions on television. They are won at the polling units. They are won by the citizens. They are won by votes casted. If Tinubu is genuinely as popular as Wike suggested, then there should be no need to boast about a crippled opposition or suggest that the federal power could determine electoral outcomes. Let Nigerians decide. If the APC has performed well, let Nigerians reward it. If the opposition has failed, let Nigerians reject it. If Tinubu deserves another 4 years, let Nigerian people give him those 4 years through their vote. But nobody, not Wike, not Tinubu, not the APC, not the opposition, should behave as though Nigerians' elections outcome is already predetermined. There is no other reason than to be so arrogant. There is another important point Wike should have remembered. The opposition is not the enemy of democracy. the opposition is part of democracy. A democracy without a credible opposition is not a healthy democracy. A government that believes it has crippled its opponent should be asking why political competition has become so weak, not celebrating the weakness as though it were a democratic achievement. And if Wike truly believes that the federal government possesses enough might to determine the outcome of an election, Nigerians should not simply applaud that statement. They should ask, what happens when that same federal might is used against them? Because political power changes hands. Remember, government comes and goes. Today's ruling party can become tomorrow's opposition party. Today's powerful minister can tomorrow become political victim. That is why democracy requires rules that protect everyone, not just those currently holding power. Wike's statement about Osun should therefore not be celebrated as evidence of APC strength. If anything, it should be treated as a warning about what happens when politicians begin to confuse government power with political ownership of the country. And as of 2027 be an easy election, let Wike wait. Let Tinubu campaign. Let the opposition organize. Let every candidate make their case to the people. And then let Nigerians, not the federal might, decide. Nigeria does not belong to Wike. Nigeria does not belong to Tinubu. Nigeria does not belong to APC or PDP. Nigeria belongs to the Nigerian people. The ballot box, not the federal might, must determine who governs Nigeria. I don't know if I'm making sense. One particularly powerful angle is Wike's own history. His present statement is especially vulnerable to criticism because he has previously spoken forcefully about the dangers of using federal power and security institutions against opposition politicians. On the CDD West African briefing, for example, discusses the phenomenon of federal might as the use of federal institutions in ways that can favor the ruling party. That is not democracy. So the strongest attack isn't simply Wike is arrogant. It is Wike has inadvertently revealed the mindset that Nigeria should be most concerned about. The belief that electoral victory can be manufactured through federal power rather than earned through the consent of the people. I rest my case.